Hi, I'm going to tell you about a 1-minute survey that predicts 3/4 of children who will have low language at 11 years. About 1 in 10 children have trouble learning and using language. This can make it harder for them to fit in socially, do well at school and later at work, and live their best life. Some young children who have language difficulties will catch up without needing extra help. We don't need to worry about giving these children extra language support. Other children will continue to have language problems. It would help these children to get extra language support at school or from a therapist. But it's difficult for us to identify the young children who need extra language support. In this study, we tried to find questions we can ask parents that will best identify young children who will have long-term language problems. We used data from a group of 839 children who took part in a language study from when they were 8 months old until they were teenagers. When the children were aged between 8 months and 3 years old, their parents answered 2,000 questions about the child and their family. When the children were 11 years old, they did a language test. The children who got a low score are the children we want to identify so that we can give them extra support. And the children who got a high score do not need extra language support. We used mathematical methods to find out which of those 2,000 questions were the best at helping us predict whether a child would have a low or a high language score on the language test at 11 years. We found 7 questions that we can ask parents when their child is 2 years old. These questions helped us correctly identify 73% of children with low language scores and 77% of children with high language scores at 11 years. These questions are about words that the child says or understands, if they use sounds or words to get attention, how well they can use everyday objects like a cup or brush, and how they behave. We also found 7 questions that we can ask parents when their child is 3 years old. These questions helped us correctly identify 75% of children with low language scores and 85% of children with high language scores at 11 years. These questions are about the child's ability to make sentences, words that the child says, how much the parent plays with the child, and how well the parent is coping. These sets of questions can give us an idea whether a 2 or 3-year-old child is likely to have long-term language problems and need extra language support. These questions are not perfect. They will correctly identify if a child will have long-term language problems about 3 out of 4 times. They will be wrong for about 1/4 of children. This means that we can't use these questions to confidently tell a parent if their 2 or 3-year-old child will have long-term language problems. But the questions might be helpful for researchers who want to identify children more likely to have long-term language problems. This would help us keep learning more about these children.